So as a non-binary person, I think the thing that I hear the most around the non-binary community is how hard they, them, and other gender-neutral pronouns are. And because I am non-binary, I have heard every reason under the sun as to why people don't use they, them pronouns. It's too hard to remember. It's not grammatically correct. They, them is plural. And my very favorite one, I don't believe in pronouns. In today's video, I'm going to be explaining why they, them pronouns aren't actually that hard to use. I'm also going to explain how to use them and why they are so important to use the correct pronouns for someone. So let's get into it. A pronoun is defined as a word that can function by itself as a noun phrase and that refers either to the participants in the discourse or to someone or something mentioned elsewhere in the discourse. The most common pronouns in the English language are I, you, she, her, he, him, and you guessed it, they, them. Now I could go into the history as to how they, them pronouns are actually singular and why people who say this are just wrong, but I'm not an English scholar, so I'm just going to put some links down in the description if you want to find out more about how they, them singular pronouns have been used for a while. They will be in the description down below if you want to read that for yourself. I also just wanted to point out that they, them aren't the only gender neutral pronouns out there. These are just some of the gender neutral pronouns other than they, them in the English language. And if anyone wants a longer video on these, please let me know in the comments down below. I would love to make a video all about these. So they, them actually isn't harder to use than any other pronoun out there. People actually do it all the time every day. Some examples of this would be which student left their backpack behind, or my friend might need me to watch their dog next week. And as a non-binary person, I use they, them pronouns. It's what I feel the most comfortable with, and it's what gives me the most euphoria in being referred to as. So if you wanted to talk about me or use me as an example of practicing they, them pronouns, you could say something along the lines of Lynn Saga has a YouTube channel where they talk about the LGBTQ+ community, or did you know that Lynn really loves their cat? I really do, and here's a picture of the best boy in the whole wide world. I love him. He is the best thing in my life. So from these examples, you can see that they, them pronouns come up in everyday conversations. That's so natural, people really don't think about it. And honestly, I think that's the thing that gets people the most about they, them pronouns now. It's because the general public are now being asked to use they, them pronouns for non-binary and gender non-conforming people. Again, they, them pronouns aren't really a new thing, but what is newer is that non-binary and gender non-conforming people are asking the people in their lives and who they interact with to use they, them instead of binary pronouns such as she, her, and he, him. And you know what? I completely understand it being something to get used to. I know that I had to get used to it the very first time that Quinn came out to me and said that they use gender neutral pronouns. I was very, very bad at it for the first year and a half, 2 years I was friends with them. Looking back on it, I wish I was a little bit better with it, but I remember when I was like, you know what, I'm so tired of not using their correct pronouns, and I made a conscious effort into being a whole lot better than I was. And is this to say that I am 100% perfect with everyone's pronouns 100% of the time? No, I am not. I still accidentally slip up here and there, and I say I'm sorry and I move on. Disclaimer to any cis people making a big deal out of using the wrong pronouns for a trans, non-binary, gender non-conforming person. Just say I'm sorry and move on. It can get a lot to have someone overly apologize for getting the wrong pronouns. All you have to say is, I'm sorry I slipped up, I will do better next time, and that's it. But the thing that makes people feel better is when they can see you actively trying to get better with their pronouns and get to the point where you really don't even have to think about using they, them. Using someone's correct pronouns is honestly one of the most gender affirming and crucial parts of a non-binary person's life. A study published in the journal Pediatrics shows that transgender and non-binary youth who have fully transitioned into their gender and have been fully supported in doing so the whole time do not have elevated depressive symptoms compared to trans and non-binary youth who don't have that kind of support. And this includes things like using someone's correct name and using someone's correct pronouns. So yeah, they, them pronouns really aren't that hard, I promise. It just takes a little bit of practice and time, as well as putting in effort for the non-binary person in your life. It really is so important to use someone's pronouns. You literally have no idea how amazing it is to hear they, them as a non-binary person, because the non-binary person really doesn't hear it as much as they want to. So using someone's correct pronouns really is incredibly crucial, and it can make their day. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments down below if you want to see any more pronoun videos from me. I know that as someone who uses they them pronouns, it really does get very tiring to hear excuses and reasons why people don't use them for you, or you just feel like people don't see you as the gender you are, which can be very disheartening. But I promise you, there are people in your life or out there who will see you and will validate you and will use they them pronouns, even if it takes them a little bit. I know for me, that person was my mom. It took her a while to get my pronouns, and she still slips up sometimes, but I know that she is doing her best, which I very much appreciate. For me, it's mostly about the intention behind slipping up with pronouns and seeing people actually make an effort. So comment down below if you want to see any more videos like this, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!